Hello and welcome to another update video about XRP. Yeah, for the last few days we've now been counting, or last few weeks we've been counting 1-2 setups on this chart. As you might know, counting additional 1-2 setups typically means the chart gets charged up quite a bit. It, however, also always looks a little bit corrective when you have too many of these 1-2 setups together. However, this one worked nicely. So what we talked about in the last video was this kind of base channel here, and it broke above the base channel. That was certainly the signal that something bullish is going on here. And after a break of the base channel, it moved, well, basically 15%. Off the low here, yeah, of this support area, it moved even more. However, I have added now the 88.7 fib level to this one, because just to show you that it eventually found support at the 88.7 fib level. We had a break of the 78.6 fib level. That's normally the signal if it breaks below that and sustains there, that such a setup is getting less likely. However, it never sustained. Yeah, it just took a couple of hours and it recovered it basically. You can see that on the 1 hour chart. It basically closed an hourly candle below and then recovered quite quickly. So it basically retested then the 88.7 and then moved up. But yeah, it's 3 valid 1-2 setups. That normally is when Elliott Wave gives us a signal that if this setup holds, it can be supercharged and rally quite a bit. If you know a bit about Elliott Wave, then you will know that. If you get too many of them, though, it's getting unlikely, right? And with 3, I think it's still realistic, borderline realistic. If you have 4, you tend to start not to believe it. But yeah, eventually support held. Well, it briefly broke, but the 1-2 setup did hold. Normally, a 1-2 setup only gets invalidated if it breaks below the beginning of the wave 1. Yeah, it came very close, so it's not a setup that I find great. That's why it was orange. But eventually, the 1-2 setup held, and it did rally. What you normally need in terms of a confirmation is a break above, well, that channel, and then above the previous wave 1 high. All of that happened. And I gave you a target of 43 cents, I think. Now it did rally above it. 43 cents was the, let's say, minimum target for a third wave. It does certainly rally above it. So we've got now reached 45 cents and yeah, basically reacted to the area between the 2.618 and the 300% extension is quite a bit. So I don't think the third wave is over yet. Well, maybe it is, but I don't think we've done the 4 and the 5 yet. So for now, I'm looking, you can say it's now against the last swing low. You can focus on higher because there is very limited structure here. The problem is with these spikes, XRP tends to do these rallies sometimes out of the blue, especially when we had the right chart structure for it. Okay, because it was already at key support, and then you tend to see these rallies if you get some kind of a bullish catalyst or something. But you see, XRP does these rallies out of the blue. But also here, that was back in September, I remained very skeptical and did highlight to you that unless we see 5 waves, we can't call that really a sustainable rally, and we never saw the 5th wave. It could have done it here, but made a lower high. So XRP tends to make these crazy moves. Everybody's chasing, and then they normally fail. Now, I'm not saying they will fail this time, but it's just something that if you see limited structure in the subwaves, it's always a warning. It could just be something, which would break. So eventually what needs to happen, it needs to hold those wave 4s. So maybe that wave 4 started now. I mean, we didn't really get a significant wave 4, so maybe this is one. What needs to happen to still give us that highly likely, what needs to happen for it to give us that wave 5 with a good likelihood? Well, I want it to hold the 50% retracement, so I'm going to give you that now. And if it's holding that level, then it can focus on higher, right? So there is limited structure, so I'd rather play it safe and say if it holds the 41.7 cent level, it can still give us that 5th. Ideally, it doesn't go below 42.7 cents. Yeah, so because that is the 38.2 fib level. So that's sort of how I see it. Not necessarily it has to go into this area, but as long as 41.7 cents holds, we can focus here on higher against that critical support. So yeah, and let's zoom out a little bit, because with that rally, Let's go to the 1 hour chart. With that rally, no, I need to go to 4 hour. We are now coming close at some point to the next key resistance here around the 51 cent level. So structural resistance. Let's see if we get there. We should do. I mean, in this overall scenario that we've been talking about for weeks, that we should see upside here in this C wave. We've always been talking about sort of that area around the 55 cent level. So maybe it's happening now. Obviously, it's not the great chart. So you need to be patient with these charts. And eventually, I still expect another low for XRP. But you know, we've been talking about this scenario. Let me just remind you, if anybody missed that, that's my scenario here on this chart. Of the June low, an A wave to the upside, B wave down, and that C wave rally with this 1-2 setup. And now we're in this third wave, 4 and 5. So it's playing out. And what else can I say? Nothing. Hope it helped you to determine the best decisions about trading or whatever you want to do with XRP. Again, for me, it's not a chart I really like, but so far it's following the analysis, even though it's a bit choppy and mostly driven by sideways movement. Okay, that's my update about XRP. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.